This happened when I was 19, and it's the reason I never ignore an Amber Alert again, no matter how tired or distracted I am. I was driving home from my late shift at a grocery store just outside a small town in Ohio. It was around 11:45 p.m., and the roads were mostly empty. I remember feeling relieved the shift was over, just zoning out with low music playing, as I took the usual back road route home. About 10 minutes into the drive, my phone buzzed loudly through my car speakers. That sharp, sudden tone, louder than any notification, made me jump. Amber Alert. I glanced at the screen at a stop sign. It described a missing 8-year-old girl, blonde hair, last seen wearing a pink hoodie. The alert mentioned a dark blue sedan, possibly a Ford, heading northbound. License plate partially visible, something like K7L. I remember thinking how scary that must be for the kid, and how unlikely it was I'd ever actually see that car, so I kept driving. A few miles later, I noticed headlights behind me. That wasn't unusual, but something about the way the car stayed at the same distance felt deliberate. Every turn I took, it followed. At first, I told myself I was being paranoid, but then I slowed down slightly just to test it, and the car behind me slowed too. That's when my stomach started to tighten. The road I was on was long and narrow, surrounded by trees on both sides. No houses, no street lights, just darkness. I told myself to stay calm. Maybe it was just someone heading the same direction. Then we reached a stretch where the road widened slightly, and the car behind me moved just enough for its headlights to hit my side mirror at an angle. That's when I saw the color. Dark blue. My grip tightened on the steering wheel. No way, I muttered to myself. I tried to casually speed up, not wanting to make it obvious. The car sped up too. Now my heart was racing. I kept thinking about the alert, the girl, the car, the partial plate. I needed to see the plate. Up ahead, there was a small gas station. It was the only place with light for miles. I made a quick turn into it without signaling much. The car followed me in. That's when panic really set in. I pulled up near the entrance, where the lights were brightest. The other car parked a few spots away, engine still running. I didn't get out. I pretended to check my phone, but I angled my mirror carefully, trying to see the license plate. 7L. I swear my entire body went cold. I immediately locked my doors. The driver's door of that car cracked open slightly, then closed again, like they were watching me. I grabbed my phone and dialed 911, trying to keep my voice steady as I explained everything. The Amber Alert, the car, the plate, where I was. The operator told me to stay in the car and not approach. While I was on the phone, the other car suddenly started moving again. It slowly circled the lot, and then stopped directly behind me. My heart was pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. "What are they doing?" I whispered. The operator stayed calm, telling me officers were on the way. Then the car's headlights shut off. Now it was just sitting there, in the dark. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. After what felt like forever, probably less than a minute, the headlights snapped back on, and the car sped out of the gas station. I watched it disappear down the road. Police showed up about 3 minutes later. I gave them everything I saw. The next day, I found out they caught the driver about 20 miles away. And yes, there was a child in the back seat, alive. I still think about that moment. If I hadn't pulled into that gas station, if I had just gone home, I might have been the last person to see that car before it disappeared for good. And the part that still bothers me? That driver didn't seem scared of being caught. They were watching me, like they were deciding something. This happened when I was 22, and it's why I never sit in my car after an Amber Alert goes off. I had just finished a late movie with a couple of friends at a shopping plaza in Texas. It was around 10:30 p.m. when we walked out into the parking lot. Most of the stores were closed, and the place felt unusually quiet. We said our goodbyes, and I got into my car. I didn't leave right away. I had a habit of checking my phone before driving. That's when the alert came through. Amber Alert. A young boy, 6 years old, abducted by a non-custodial parent. The suspect was driving a silver SUV, Chevy or GMC, with tinted windows. I read it quickly, feeling that usual mix of concern and distance. It felt serious, but not something that would involve me. I put my phone down and started the car. Then I noticed something strange. A silver SUV was parked 2 rows ahead of me, engine running, lights off. At first, I didn't think much of it, but something felt off. The windows were so dark you couldn't see inside at all, and the car wasn't parked normally. It was angled slightly, like it had pulled in quickly. I told myself I was overthinking, but then I saw movement. Just for a second, like someone shifting in the back seat. My chest tightened. I stayed still, watching. Then the SUV's brake lights flickered on and off. It didn't leave. It just sat there. I suddenly remembered the alert details: silver SUV, tinted windows. My hands started shaking. I grabbed my phone and zoomed in with my camera, trying to see anything through the darkness. Nothing clear. Then, suddenly, the driver's door opened. A man stepped out. He didn't look around casually like someone heading into a store. He turned slowly, scanning the parking lot. My heart dropped. I ducked slightly, trying not to be seen. The man walked around to the back of the SUV and opened the rear door. And that's when I heard it. A muffled sound, like someone crying, but trying not to. Every instinct in my body screamed that something was wrong. I immediately dialed 911, whispering as I described everything. The operator told me to stay hidden and keep watching if I could do so safely. The man stood there for a few seconds, then slammed the back door shut. He looked around again, longer this time, then his head turned slightly in my direction. I froze. I don't know if he saw me, but it felt like he did. He got back into the SUV. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the engine revved and the SUV started moving, slowly, directly toward my row. My heart was pounding so hard I thought I might pass out. "Stay on the line," the operator said. The SUV rolled closer, then turned slightly, passing just a few spaces away from me. As it passed, I caught a glimpse through the windshield. The driver's face was completely calm. Too calm. Then the SUV sped out of the parking lot. Police arrived minutes later, and I gave them everything. Later, I learned that vehicle matched the Amber Alert exactly. They found it abandoned the next morning. But the kid still missing. And the worst part is, I keep thinking about that sound, that quiet, muffled crying. I was right there, close enough to hear it. This happened when I was 27, and it's the reason I never stop on empty highways at night, even if someone looks like they need help. I was driving through rural Arizona on a long overnight trip. It was past midnight, and the highway was almost completely empty. Just miles of darkness and the occasional passing truck. My phone buzzed loudly through the car. Amber Alert. A teenage girl, 14, taken by an unknown male, last seen near a rest stop. Suspect driving a black pickup truck with damage on the rear bumper. I glanced at it briefly, then focused back on the road. About 20 minutes later, I saw hazard lights flashing up ahead. A black pickup truck pulled over on the side of the road. My first instinct was to keep driving, but as I got closer, I saw someone standing outside the truck. A man waving his arms, like he needed help. I slowed down. I don't know why. Maybe it was instinct, maybe it was guilt. I pulled over about 20 feet behind him. The man immediately started walking toward my car. Too fast. Something felt wrong instantly. I locked my doors. He came up to my window, knocking. "Hey, I need help. My phone's dead," he said. His voice sounded normal, but his eyes didn't. They kept darting, like he was nervous or hiding something. Then I noticed the truck. Black. Rear bumper dented. My blood ran cold. I subtly glanced toward the passenger side of his truck. The windows were tinted, but not completely. And for just a second, I saw movement. Inside. I looked back at the man. He was staring directly at me now, waiting. I forced a calm expression and said, "I'll call someone for you." He hesitated, just for a second. Then his expression changed. Not angry, not desperate, just blank. He stepped back slowly. "Don't bother," he said. Then he turned and walked back to his truck, got in, and drove off, fast. I immediately called 911, giving them everything: location, description, direction. I sat there shaking for a long time after, because I realized something. He didn't try to force anything, didn't threaten me, didn't act desperate. It felt like he was testing me, seeing if I'd step out of the car. seeing if I'd get close enough, and if I had,